even as things are getting a little bit crazier with expectations because of the inflation picture and how that's fluctuating, at least through the first half of the year, I think that business has improved sequentially for a lot of the folks that we talked to in our operator panel. It is good to see that this red line here of folks that say that their levels of sales and traffic compared with before the pandemic, that is kind of coming down steadily. The last couple of months, things have, improved steadily, gotten better, but a lot of operators that we talk to are having a lot of trouble projecting where they're going to be right now.
Compared between June and January, you have like a solid chunk of operators saying that they're expecting higher traffic from month to month. April was a really interesting time, and we're not exactly quite sure why there was such a significant dip in traffic expectations. But in general, it seems that most operators are from month to month have been expecting higher and higher traffic.
There's probably growing fear of a likely recession, at least among operators, kind of thinking that that's probably where we're headed. And so, sales have been, I think, at least on a reported basis from some of the bigger restaurant companies that have to disclose this sort of thing, sales have been growing pretty steadily. A lot of that, I think, is due to, menu price increases. So for, the sales expectations to be creeping up to the negative side, I think is coming from macroeconomic expectations.
Obviously, rising food costs have been significantly and by far the most pressing issue month to month. But what we are also curious about is that bottom line there, the general inflation line. And it seems that concerns about general inflation has just been steadily going on the rise, like a 10% increase in that being an operator's top concern is certainly, I think, significant, even if it's only 31%.
This is one of the few charts that we have a tracker for where just things are moving in a pretty uniform direction. Very little fluctuation, and so the concerns over food costs have just been steadily on the rise, and almost nobody says that they are easing up or staying constant. Broadly, many and most operators have done a price increase at some point this year. 2/3 of operators have taken price, at some point by this year, but they're trying to be pretty judicious with it. It's rare that you see operators kind of keep steadily raising menu prices as their COGS and their labor costs are going up. But for the most part, I think that people realize that there are a lot more things that go into your value proposition than just the prices on the menu.
The vast majority of us are involved in the meals we eat at home. But when we look at that, when we break it out generationally, we see that Gen Z is a little bit different. And this will be interesting to take a deeper look at in a few more slides. But you got to think of their life stage where they're at. Many of them live with their parents, their guardians still, so they're not as involved as consumers in making their meals. We could see that right off the bat, 2/3 of consumers enjoyed their last meal at home. But when we break this out by their level of involvement in preparing that meal, we see that the more involved that you are in cooking your meal, the more you enjoy it.